Hey guys, and Utama here. I hope you guys are coping well in these strange times we find ourselves in. I don't normally do this talking to the camera thing. I'm more comfortable singing, but I wanted to share with you a story that I experienced, and someone gave me the best gift an artist can receive. And it all goes back to last year on the March the 15th. You may remember that there was a terrorist attack that happened in my home country of New Zealand, where 51 innocent people died, all of which were Muslim, and many were immigrants and refugees who were trying to make a new life in New Zealand. Fast forward 1 year later, I released a tribute song called Your New Home, a song that was dedicated to the victims, their families, and to immigrants everywhere, all over the world, who are who have left their home, being put in a vulnerable spot and trying to make a new life, rebuild somewhere else that's safer and has more opportunity. And I worked very hard on this song. To write it, to produce it, and to promote it, I went very hard. I send it to radio stations, to bloggers, to influencers, news outlets, newspapers. I send them to every possible avenue that I could to promote a song. And I even had, New Zealand's a small country, so I have direct contacts to people working in these organizations. I sent it to these people, and my results were horrible. It was just, it was devastating for me as an artist, because I had so much hope for the song. It's a positive message, and I just thought that it would explode, but it didn't. If you look at my Spotify feed, it's sitting just under 2,500 streams after 3.5 months, and that is quite. That's like the worst track that's performing out of all the songs that I've released. And I think it's the most heartfelt and meaningful song. So in the last few months, in combination with the coronavirus affecting all of my gigs, I've just been dealing with a lot of frustration, a lot of, I've just been feeling really low, with a bit of a low self-esteem, and I thinking that I did everything right. I did everything that someone needs to do, and I just didn't get the results. Until last week, someone sent me a message and it said, "Thank you so much for the song, for Your New Home." And I've had a few messages like this, and it was kind of from a general perspective. Thank you for writing a positive song for humanity. But I thanked her and said, I appreciate that. Thank you for giving me that feedback. And she elaborated. Her name is Alta, and she told me later on that her son and her husband were both shot and injured on that day. Luckily, they survived, which is fantastic to hear. But they went through a lot. Their son is traumatized. He's only 3 years old now, and he still gets triggered a lot. His father was, shot multiple times in the back, while covering up his son, saving his life. And to hear the story gave me chills, because I hadn't been in direct contact with anyone who was there on the day. So I just got goosebumps. And what she said to me was the greatest gift that an artist can receive. She said, "Thank you for creating this art, for your openness, and for sharing the song, because it's helped me heal. A year later, it's slowly helping me recover emotionally, physically, and mentally from this tragedy." And immediately, the 3 months of me being so frustrated and upset and bitter that, I put in so much work and the results and statistics were not favorable. This one person, who is actually affected by this situation, approached me, reached out, and said thank you for that piece of art. And I mean, that's something that you cannot trade against statistics. That is something that is so much more meaningful and humbling. And so I wanted to encourage, if you're a musician or an artist of any type, just keep working at it. Keep working at your art. Keep pushing to get it out there. It may seem like you're not getting heard. It may seem like you're not getting in front of anyone, that no one knows who you are, and that your progress isn't where you want it to be. But you might be affecting someone in such a positive way, like I was able to help Alta, and it gave me a whole new perspective on things. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story. If anyone is interested, Alta shared with me an article that was written by the New York Post that outlines their story. So that'll be in the description, and it's just amazing to hear that they're still going through these challenges every day. It was only just over a year ago where they experienced this tragedy, and the world can so easily move on to the next thing, right? We had, earlier this year, we had the Australian bushfires, and we had coronavirus, and then we had Black Lives Matters movement, and we're still in the middle of some of these things, and after that we'll move on to the next one. But little, do we realize that there are still people who are emotionally scarred from these things that have happened a year ago. So yeah, I've learned a lot, and I thank Alta from the bottom of my heart for giving me this gift, knowing that my creation has actually added value and helped her with the healing process. So that's my story that I wanted to share. I'm sorry if it was a bit long, but I just wanted to make it real and authentic and talk off the cuff. I didn't want to add heaps of edits and cuts. So yeah, that's me. I'm going to keep doing what I do and go through the ups and downs. And I hope you guys do the same. Take care.